So when I start a dog on any odor, I use a system of pipes. I have 5 pipes out here. One has the odor in it, our target odor, which is going to be the Sigma Eldritch cocaine odor. That's the first odor that we're going to be starting with. I have 1 pipe that has a toy in it. I have 1 pipe that has food in it. I have 1 pipe that just has a plastic bag in it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to separate the odor from any other odor that the dogs encounter during their searches and make that one odor the most important. So when the dog first comes off, and typically if I'm training by myself, which I know a lot of people will be doing, I teach a dog to go to the platform and stay on a platform until I call them off. Once they come off the platform, I'm going to direct them into the pipe that has the odor in it. And I'll start feeding them either through the back or you can feed them off to the side. I think it's better to start feeding them in the odor. I do use food in the beginning, obviously, because I was just saying that. But when I'm using food in the beginning, and the reason why I do it is because I think the dogs stay in a lower drive. If I think these guys use the toy in the beginning, not totally sure, but I like to use the food because it keeps the dogs down a little bit, a little more focused, and I can work on my final response that I'm looking for, which is going to be hold your nose in the odor. In the beginning, I don't care about a sit, I don't care about it down. All I care about is that they put their nose into the odor and they leave it there until I release them for their reward or throw their toy for them in for the finished product. So, like I said, each one of these has some form of odor that the dog is seeing during the protection phase. That's basically the start. I'll explain a little more as I have a dog out here and what I'm seeing and why I'm rewarding the dog. Should I bring a dog out that hasn't done it before to show?
No, first just show your dog, show a dog.
All right.
Going through, is that set up?
Well, I took the odor out and put it in this one because I only had 2 odors made. So, but I can either start them on here or I can do this.
Yeah, just demo it once. So
demo it once.
Can see.
Right.
Again, as many, he's going to show one way, there's so many different ways to approach it. So, it's just...
And I think I've actually been working a little bit on don't follow me so much, so my dog's going to mess with me a little bit. But when I'm out here and I'm working these cinder blocks, they're set up in rows, and between each block, there's 3 feet. So each block has 3 feet separation on all sides. When I want my dogs to go down for this trial, I want them to go down in a straight line. Now, we're outside and there's a lot of environmental factors that play into this too. You have the heat, you have the wind, the odor's dispersing all over the place. So if you're paying attention to which direction the wind is blowing and your dog looks like they're starting to head that way, I would let them take it. Let them take it. If they wind up with nothing, you can call them back and get them into the pattern of going down each row. Once I get to the end, I'll shift over, I'll work my dog through the next row, and then I'll take him down the third row. Don't want to disperse that scent. One of these, not each one, but in 2 blocks there's a cocaine odor in which I believe we changed that during the trial. Is that right, Jerry? We changed it. There's going to be 1 cocaine odor and 1 heroin odor.
Yeah, we're gonna start with both odors in level 2,
and both odors
go to level 3 and add one.
Okay.
One more, either
one. Okay. So I've only trained my dog on cocaine so far, so we have 2 cocaine odors out there. I have not introduced him to the heroin yet. So I'll run up and grab him. The end has a cocaine odor. This is just so you guys can watch and see his change of behavior. Hopefully he has one. On the 3rd row, it's the 3rd block in from this side. So for the trial, you're going to start from your starting position in foos. After you check in with the judge, you can go set up your search however you want. If you want to leave your dog at the start line and step across and use some direction, or if you send your dog in to search on their own, if either the handler or the dog crosses that start line, that's when your your time frame starts for how long you have to search, which is it 5 minutes?
It's 3 minutes, I believe, for level 2.
3 minutes, okay.
And
Yeah.
With overtime penalties, if you go beyond 3,
Okay.
there's going to be penalties for 15 seconds over,
Oh, okay.
30 seconds over.
All right, cool. Sit. Sit. So for this search, you can be on or off leash, out. Sit. Sit. Yes. Good. Now, out. Sit. Now, as you're rewarding the dog, the time still goes for your search. So keep in mind, sit. As you're rewarding your dog and as you're working, that the time is still continuing until that last odor is found. Let's go. Search. Here. Search. And there he blew the odor off. No problem. Here, Nero. I'm just going to work him back through the opposite direction now. Yes. Go ahead. Go. Good boy. So that's basically the Schutzhund 2. Inside the containers, there's 8 blocks that have blank odors in them. There's a few that have rubber gloves. There's a few that have plastic bags. One of them might still have a piece of pork in there from yesterday. But that's basically the Schutzhund 2 and how that's going to be set up and run. Any questions?
Is it only timed, or is it going to be scored as well?
It's scored as well. But you have your time frame. You have to finish it within 3 minutes, or it's penalties after that.
Do you have to list the type of indication, like if your dog
You
fails?
will have to list an indication, yes.
So yours would lose points because you didn't name.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So do you have to call your time once you're done time, and then you can call your alerts?
Yes, you are going to, when you indicate to the judge, you will say alert to the judge, or it is just alert, right? You have to say alert when you have found that odor. The judge will tell you yes, you can reward your dog. Is the 3-second indication still in play? Okay. So your dog has to hold their indication at that odor. So he left his nose in there. It probably wasn't quite 3 seconds for that, but like I said, he's a little shaky right now. But your dog has to hold that indication for 3 seconds before you can reward them to receive full points, or to not be pointed. So once the judge says yes, you wait your 3 seconds, you reward your dog, you take them, off to the side or reward them there, and then you go back and you continue to search until you find your second odor. And same process after that second odor is found. Anything else?
Can you detail? You go on detail? Can you go on detail when you're running the dog?
Can you show them each block? Yes. Yep, you can do that. Are you allowed to touch the blocks or anything like that? No. So no touching the blocks, but you can present each block. Yes. Yeah.
Is there a certain pattern we have to go, or can we?
No, there's no pattern that you have to go. If your dog free searches, that's fine. If your dog goes back to that first odor, repeating that, I don't know. I'm sure there's a penalty if you call that alert again, right? So if your dog indicates and then goes back to that block and you call alert again, I see it all the time. All right. So there will be a penalty. So pay attention to where you found that odor. It's only 30 blocks out here, but for a Schutzhund 3, there's going to be 20 more. So 50 different containers out there for that.
Is there gonna be on the odor side? How much odor you put in? Is there like
yeah. So
2
in
ounces? You know what I say now?
Yeah,
Okay.
so there's a plastic bag in there with the odor in it, and you said it was about 25 grams is what we're
That's the
using?
max, yeah, like 15 to 25.
15 to 25 grams of odor
So
in
just
there.
to know what it's gonna be.
Yes,
It's
yep.
not too
It's
much.
in the rule book for
Yep, it's in the
what the
rule
weight
book.
has
So-
to be for
yeah,
either
and
level.
So for the blanks in there are plastic bags because we need to know that the dog is 100% hitting on that cocaine or that heroin odor that are in those blocks. So there's going to be plastic bags, there's going to be rubber gloves. And you know, for the Schutzhund 2, and then the 3, there's going to be other types of distractors out there as well. Yeah.
Depending on how many people you have trialing that day, for the 2, are you gonna move the odor, or is the odor gonna
Nope,
stay?
the odor will stay the same throughout the whole trial.
Okay.
And I believe there's a 30-minute set time. So once the odors are set, there's going to be 30 minutes before any dog is ran through the trial. Yep. Yeah.
As far as rewarding, if the food or the ball hits the ground, that's a penalty, right? You have to reward from your hand.
What was your call on that yesterday, Deb? Or whoever? Because
I didn't hear.
so throwing the ball or throwing the food. If you throw it, is there going to be a point deduction?
Yeah, you can't throw the ball.
You can't. We don't want the search area foul.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Where a dog's knocking shit over.
Yep.
The kid hit the ground. You have to reward from your
Can't hit
hand.
the ground.
Nope. Can't hit the ground. Nope.
Do you have to reward?
No.
Not have to reward. No. Good.
Do you get more points if less time?
No, it's set. It's a 100-point thing. So yeah, 100 points would be full points for that.
But you do get points off for every 15 seconds you go over.
Right.
To a max of 1 minute over.
Yeah, and once you pass that 1 minute over, then it's 0.
And what was the time you have to do it inside?
3 minutes.
Okay.
Yep. You have 3 minutes for the 2, and then how long for the 3?
We said
5
5.
minutes.
Okay.
If you get one, is there partial, you're not going to pass?
That's pointed, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's just points.
It's 15 points in odor, I believe.
The rest of it is search attitude, speed.
Hold the mark.
Yep.
All of those things.
And the 3 seconds is the judge's discretion or time once they...
3 seconds.
What about if they false on something that's not there?
False is 15 points, I believe. Yep.
Even if you don't call it? What if they don't hold it or you don't call it?
If they're there for over 3 seconds, they've called it.
But what if you pull them off? It doesn't count as a false?
Why would you do that if you don't know where it is?
Look at Dawn being smart.
So the first thing that this dog is going to have to learn is to come off the platform and go directly into this first pipe here. I'm going to be showing him the pipe, feeding, dropping food from inside. He has to know that before we can move along, and then basically after that we start playing the shell game. I'll move it from the first spot to the third spot, then back to the first spot, then to the fifth spot, and keep shifting everything around. As he's getting more confident on the odor, I'll start testing him. I'll start tapping other pipes, trying to get him to come off. Probably won't get to that in this first session, but moving on very quickly, they can start holding themselves on the odor with their nose in the odor without moving past it, even with it, when you're trying to call him off. What's his name again? Yari. Yari, hey. Yes. Yari. Yes. 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 He's able to get the food out of there.
Yeah.
So I feed them a few times inside the odor, and then I tell them go, and that's when the handler takes them back to the platform. Yari. Yes. 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 Yeah. So I just redesigned these, and I've never used them like this before, and I hate it. These are horrible. All right. Yes. 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 My fingers are too fat for these holes. Come here. Yes. Yes. Take them back.
What makes you do it like this instead of doing this in boxes? Like boxes with the holes in the
Boxes are
side
big and bulky, and I don't have space.
Okay.
Deb needs a bigger garage.
Okay, understood.
Yari. Hey, Yari. Yes. Yes. So he's trying to come around the backside to grab the food out of my hand. He's just not getting it. There's no eating until his nose is inside the pipe. Yes. That's the other thing I like about these tubes is that I can reward inside the odor. It's nice if you have the ball. Hey, Yari. No, take him back. No,
Here.
pull him back. It's nice if you can have the ball launcher inside, but again, I don't have a big garage. Yari.
Yari, fine.
Yes. So now his first step is coming in and going directly into the pipe. Yes. So now I'll start shifting it around for him. Yes. Now he's also interested in going back and putting his nose in these pipes. They're just too close together. So I'm just gonna move them a little farther apart. So now once he puts his nose inside of this pipe, which I'm gonna use an empty pipe, there's nothing inside of this pipe. Once he puts his nose in here, I'm just gonna redirect him to the second one and start feeding him automatically. Hey, Yari.
Yari.
Right here. Good. Yari. Yes. Yes. Now this whole time he's sniffing for his food, he's Yari. Yes. Okay, take him back. I'm gonna put it back on the first pipe. That whole time he's sniffing for his food inside of the pipe, he's also breathing in the odor, so we're pairing the scent with the reward. Yari. Yes.
So is there odor in every pipe?
No. Well, there's something in every pipe here, which again is a new thing that I'm. Hey, Yari. Yes. It's a new thing that I'm playing around with. Take him back. It's a new thing I'm playing around with, and it came from Pat Nolan to introduce distractors right in the beginning of training. I'm messing around with it right now. Typically, so right now with my odor inside of this first pipe, I have a plastic bag and I have the odor. Before a couple weeks ago, I would have just had plastic bags in each one of these odors with no scent on them. So teaching him that the odor is the only thing you're looking for. Now I'm messing around with putting some different distractors in there right from the start. Eventually, it would have been to that point where I would start with the controls in each pipe, and then I would move on and put different odors out there so the dogs are learning to pass that to pick up the odor, but not until they knew what they were looking for. So it's kind of an experiment. All right, go ahead. Yari. Yari. Yes. So now he searched a pipe with a toy in it. Yes. Go. Now he searched a pipe with a toy in it, an empty pipe, and then the third pipe had the odor in it. Here I'm gonna put, there's a toy in this one, there's a plastic bag in this one one's empty, the fourth one is going to have the odor in it. Sorry. Super. Good. Yes. And again, I'm feeding him as soon as his nose goes in. Yes. As he's sniffing for the food, I'm gonna mark again. Right here. Yes. I gotta cut these holes bigger.
I know.
I'm gonna slice my fat fingers open. Yes. Good. Take him back.
Come on, Yari.
There's also in here a screen so the dog can't see what's in there. And he can't bite at the odor, he can't pull the odor. Teaching him that using his teeth to find the odor is not the way to go. All right, it's in the second.
All right, fine.
Yes. 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 Good. Take him back. Now, this next time, I'm going to put it on the third block. I'm going to take the food one out for now. I'm going to put it on the third block, and I'm going to run him through. When his nose goes into the third pipe here, I'm going to shift over to the fourth one. If he holds that indication for half a second, I'm going to come back and start rewarding him. If he misses it, you're going to bring him back around to the first one, and we're going to work him through again. As soon as his nose goes in, then I'm going to feed him.
There's no drugs in him?
There's, yes, in this one,
Okay.
the third one.
Fine.
Very. Yes.
Good job, bud.
All I'm looking for is literally just to be able to move away from that pipe and the... Yes. Yes.
Come on, Yari. Come on, Yari.
But you see, now he's not trying to bite at my hands for the food anymore.
Nice work.
Okay, we're gonna do the same thing, and it's gonna be on the second tube.
Fine.
Yard. Yard. Yes.
Nice work, bud.
So he started to come off there, and my marker was a little late. I came back to feed him anyways. Yes.
Right.
Now it's gonna be on the fourth one. Go ahead and send him.
Fine.
Yard. Yard. Yes. This next time I'm gonna try to get him to come off so that I think, go ahead and take it back. I think it's important for the dogs to make mistakes in this. I think it's important for you to not force them to come off before what they're ready for. But I'm not gonna add too much distraction. Right now I have it on the second pipe.
Okay. Fine.
Yard. Yard. Yes.
Nice job, bud. Nice.
Yes. Good, take him back.
Good job. Yeah, nice.
And then once he starts understanding what he's looking for and holding himself there, I won't teach the down until I have a good response with his nose left on the odor. So whether you want to train a sit or you want to train a down, if I was training, if I wanted a sit response, I would raise these up off the ground. It's gonna help so that they're not hunched over because it's so low to the ground. All right, number 3.
Yard.
Yard. Yard. Yes.
Nice job, bud.
We're only gonna do it a couple more times. Go ahead, take him back.
Come on, Yard. Come on.
Oh, that's cool.
This next time I'm gonna call his name and see if he follows me. I don't want the dogs to come off the odor, whether you're calling their name, whether you're tapping on the pipe, whether you're putting leash pressure against them. I don't want them to come off. But right now we're just gonna start with using his name to see if we can get him to come off. All right, go ahead.
Yard.
Yard.
Fine.
Yard. Yard.
Nice and cold.
Okay, take him back around. When he comes back around, yes. I don't want him to go back through the pipes. I want this very direct. Yes. Yes. Good, take it back.
All right.
I want it very direct. I want him to get to the end. Now you just doubled your work because you passed the odor out.
Thomas, you want a Gatorade? Anyone else?
Number 3. Yard.
Yard.
Yard. Yard. Yes, good
Nice
boy.
job,
We're gonna stop
bud.
on that one.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, good.
Yard. Yard.
So in one session, you got him to see, kind of make sense of what the game was. He learned that he had to put his nose in the pipes. He learned that he had to stop on a specific one. And then we just keep building up from there, pushing them harder and harder, trying to get them to come off more and more. You don't want to jump too fast with all of that. But you do want to add those distractions in at some point.